Okay, here is the fastest way to level up your weapons in Warzone Season 2 right now. These methods will easily get you to max weapon level in under 20 to 30 minutes. It's super easy and you might not realise these, so be sure to leave a like if you find this helpful. Check out my other Season 2 guides. There'll be timestamps in the description if you want to jump to a specific part of the video. Without further ado, let's get straight into the tips. So there's 3 great methods I want to talk about in today's video. The first one is at the beginning of every Resurgence match on Ashika Island, you will spawn in with your custom loadout in the pre-game lobby. So what you want to do is you want to have your weapon that you want to level up as the favourite loadout. You can do this either during the game or before you start. If you go to your class, you can set which one is your favourite. So I think it's loadout options or something like that. Set it as your favourite and that means you'll auto deploy with that weapon. Otherwise what will happen is whatever's the favourite one, which is normally class 1, that will be your custom one and then you won't be able to change it until you spawn in again, and that wastes a lot of time. So have the one you want to level up as your favourite, then you'll auto deploy when you spawn in with that loadout. Then once you do that, you want to land as soon as possible in a good area but not too overcrowded, and then just keep getting kills until the timer counts down. You'll normally have at least sort of 40 seconds, maybe up to a minute. Therefore, you can normally get around 4 to 6 kills or more. I'd say it's not as good as Rebirth Island because it seems that there was a longer countdown for that, or I definitely seem to be getting a lot more kills, but it's still decent. You still get quite a few kills. After you've got those kills, you can then either leave the game when it's got about 5 to 7 seconds left. The ability to kill enemies turns off, so you can't do any damage. So you can either leave the game at that point and start again, although this is not a great method for that, or you can alternatively continue with the match and use my next trick to level up weapons fast in Ashika Island Resurgence mode. But what I would say is that this method is good. You get a good bonus to your weapon XP just from getting those kills, so do try and push to get as many kills as you can at the start of the match. It will really help and you get your weapon to max level that bit faster. Now that's the first method. It's pretty decent, good bonus, but we've got other ones that we need to move on to. So the second one, you want to do most wanted contracts on Ashika Island Resurgence. Now why am I saying this? Well, you might think it's a bit risky, but these are great because you have to survive for 3 minutes, but at the end of it you get 5,000 weapon XP or 10,000 with a double weapon XP token. Now that probably doesn't sound great and you're thinking 3 minutes is quite risky when you're marked, but you can reduce the time with a few sneaky tricks. So if you or your teammates open loot boxes, and this is why it's good to play with teammates because they can help you with this, if anyone opens loot boxes in your team, it will decrease the timer by at least 10 seconds at a time. So while you're most wanted, you want to keep searching new buildings for loot crates, open them and run down that timer as much as you can. Now obviously you are still marked as wanted, so enemies may try to hunt you down, so do try and take a bit of care not to die. Ideally stick with your teammates so you don't fail the contract, but I'd say if you keep opening loot boxes, let's say you open at least 4 or 5 if not more, that will cut down almost a minute. Obviously if your teammates doing the same, you can cut it down. You normally don't have to spend more than a minute and a half actually doing the contract if everyone's chipping in, and then by that point it's just you're going to a most wanted contract, quickly finding some loot boxes and then moving on to the next one. And obviously you also get XP from opening loot crates and doing that kind of stuff as well, so it's not actually just about doing the contract. You get other XP just for holding out your weapon. Oh yeah, make sure you got the right weapon in your hands when you're doing this contract, especially by the time the contract finishes, so that when you get that XP it will count. But also, like I say, you get passive XP just for surviving and looting, so have that weapon out to make sure you get the XP for that right weapon. I suppose you can also find what weapon you want while you're doing the contract, so if you haven't got the right one to start off with, you can start the contract, then go and find a nice weapon you want, and then by the time you finish you'll have that most of that XP for that weapon. But yeah, that's a very good way to do it, and I'd say this is one of the most efficient contracts in Warzone 2 right now. Really good for weapon XP, especially because you can reduce the timer on this contract. The third method I have for you guys is on the Al Mazrah map. So the other two were based on Resurgence in Ashika Island. This is an Al Mazrah, and what you want to do is you want to focus it around the intel contracts. So you want to start the contract, this intel contract, find intel on a laptop, then head to a computer terminal to upload the intel. You get 5,000 XP or double that if you've got a double weapon XP token for doing this contract, so it's pretty decent, same as the most wanted, but obviously you do have to go to a location, find the intel, then go and upload it somewhere, and there's risks along the way and you can't reduce that time. So even though it maybe takes about the same time as the most wanted contract, maybe slightly longer, you can't reduce the time, so it's not quite as good. But what you want to do is use vehicles to keep completing these contracts as fast as possible. Try to land on a quieter area of the map away from the flight path, and so when you land there, do that contract as quickly as you can away from the busy areas. Along the way, obviously open loot boxes, get kills as well if you can, because that beefs up the XP even more. And in some of the gameplay you might be seeing, I did really well. I got tens of thousands of XP just by doing this, so it is really good. And you can also use the store to level up weapons too. So you want to collect cash, ideally if you're going to business buildings like shops, gas stations, that kind of thing. There's lots of cash registers which contains a decent amount of cash, but you can also loot cash from most buildings and loot boxes and so on. Once Once you've got a decent amount of cash, either from doing the contracts or from looting cash, you can head over to a buy station and continually buy cheap items like armor plates, and this will give you an amount of XP per item you buy. Now, it used to be a lot more, it's less now, but it still does help to boost your weapon XP earned even more. So doing all these things together will really help to level up your weapons incredibly fast. You can easily get this done in under 20 minutes for this method, as long as you're doing it properly. So those are the three main methods, but it doesn't end there. There's a few other things we can talk about as well. So the first thing is, make sure you hop on for double weapon XP weekends. So definitely take advantage of these. Make sure you're using double weapon XP tokens when you can. Use them wisely. You can get these from PlayStation packs. The campaign has a few DMZ faction missions. The For You section of the store has certain bundles. Leveling up the battle pass to certain tiers, or taking certain areas in this case, will allow you to earn these weapon XP tokens. And on PlayStation you get a bonus for playing with your teammates. Additionally, for Warzone, because that's what we're talking about here, players who own Modern Warfare 2 will get an XP or weapon XP bonus at the end of the match, so don't leave early. That'll boost the XP you get as well. So these are the fastest ways to level up your guns currently in Warzone 2.0. If you found these tips helpful, leaving a like on the video would be much appreciated so that other people can find the video too, because people really do struggle to level up weapons. If you have any tips I didn't mention, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. Check out my other Season 2 guides, like how to level up the battle pass fast, how to level up guns in Modern Warfare 2, the best settings in Warzone, all that kind of stuff. And feel free to subscribe by clicking the bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone videos. But thank you so much for watching, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.